All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. We're gonna do a reaction to a Scap video. It's called "We Done with the '90s: A Lie Built by Scrub Losers." And I'm glad this came up on my feed because I've been wondering. I've got a certain buddy, V. You know who you are if you're watching this, who keeps sending me all this propaganda about the '90s being overrated and like we're canceling the '90s basketball and all this crap. And I didn't realize this is a whole movement right now. I think it started with a TikTok video or something stupid, but I'm sure Scap's gonna explain it. So let's go and watch this video together. I think it's hilarious. It's so stupid. It's like it's pathetically desperate. Like you can't beat the '90s, so you have to cancel it. Like you can't compete. All right, cool. All right. Yeah, I'm just at a loss for words for it. Let's go ahead and watch this. Thanks for watching, everybody. Send Scap some love as usual, and link for the original video is going to be down below. Here we go.
Oh no, there has been an ongoing crusade to attempt to discredit not merely Michael Jordan, but virtually every all-time great NBA player that preceded this current generation.
From what I'm getting out of it is you can't prove that LeBron is better than Jordan 1-to-1. So the goal now is to discredit his whole era. So discredit the '90s altogether. You know, it's it's kind of getting political. It's weird.
For what seems like 20 years now and counting. Of course, these tactics have only been ramping up more throughout the last couple years as a certain player continues to awkwardly wedge himself in conversations with players substantially better than him. The flimsy and pathetic motivations behind this ongoing quest to destroy previous eras could not possibly be more transparent. And sure, these tactics are, at their core, just a microcosm of the generational inadequacies felt by the underwhelming era of teenagers and early 20-year-olds populating society as a whole these days. But more specifically, it is a thinly veiled attempt to hoist up those soft, petulant children's personal god and savior, LeBron James. A guy who embodies all of their characteristics, mentally
Ouch. Ouch. That's true. That's true.
weak, entitled, rejecting the premise of overcoming challenges or hardships, and instead opting to just take things he never earned and doesn't deserve.
Yep.
Oh, what a loser!
You see, he is one of them, and they have gone out of their way to defend him while propping up and advancing
Yeah. He represents them. He represents an entire generation of victim mentality. Poor me. Poor me. It's not my fault. Fault.
his fake GOAT narrative. It is undeniable. He has fallen hilariously short of any metric used to gauge players of previous times. So the answer for them is simple. Discredit those players by
Yep.
attacking the times they played in.
That's why I said it feels political. This is like, two people running for president, and you're like the majority of your campaign is just not propping yourself up, promoting yourself, but trying to discredit the opposition to make you look better.
Painting their eras as weaker and easier. Of course, this couldn't be any further from the truth, as the NBA has been getting nothing but easier, specifically over this last decade. And the original talking points were that those previous eras didn't have the level of athleticism of players today.
Man, I was just talking to that same friend who was sending me this propaganda today, and his only statement was that players are more talented now than they were back then. And okay, so I responded back with a simple offensively, yes, they are more talented than they were before. This is we're at a high point right now for this. But when it comes to toughness, and defense, we are at an all-time low. So I don't really agree with the stance of they're more talented, because they're not more talented in general. They're just better shooters now. But yeah, and I stand by it. The current generation is better at shooting than in the 90s. However, in the 90s, you weren't getting wide open shots, and you didn't have a wide open lane to the basket and not be able to get touched and all this stuff. So toughness is weak. He made an argument that Ben Simmons, who was like trying to prop up Ben Simmons, and I couldn't anymore. Like it feels like a joke. That's a guy who won't even show up to work. I responded with, that guy wouldn't have even been able to play high school basketball back in the day, because I don't care what skills you have, you're weak, you're soft. You couldn't get through those practices back then. But I don't know, man. It's just weird. It's weird. It's not the best era in basketball right now. It's just not. Joker, he's a bad boy. Luka, he's a bad boy. But yeah, outside of that, there's not a lot of two-way players.
But now, while a guy who can barely dunk a basketball continues to absolutely destroy this current era, and Luka Doncic is averaging damn near a 35-point triple-double,
Yeah,
the
I know.
kids are ever so slightly modifying their narrative. As the "we done with the
Travel brick.
90s" continues to trend across various toilet bowl social media platforms, the irony and the hypocrisy cannot be more alarming, yet simultaneously so utterly predictable. The trend began by seeking out footage of Jordan from the late 80s and early 90s and exposing him for his lack of a left hand. And by footage, I mean like one half of a single game. And of course, as the scoring continues to ramp up to sky.
Oh yeah, in the 80s, Jordan didn't have skills going left. It was through the beatdowns with Detroit that him otherwise. So yes, there was a weakness, and he overcame it. Just like 3-point shooting was a weakness, but he overcame it. Like a man.
Sky-high levels in today's era, sitting currently at 115.1 points per game, which is the highest in modern NBA history. Many ignorant and uninformed casual observers might assume that this is simply because of the immense skill set of today's players as compared to those previous eras. But Kobe Bryant scored more points on a higher shooting percentage in his 17th season than he did in his 8th year in the league at the age of 25. While Steph Curry is now averaging more points per game today at 35 years of age than he did 9 years ago in his first league MVP season.
Yeah. There's a simple reason why. It's very obvious. And I think you all see it. It's easier for now. It's not so complicated.
You see, in reality, the NBA has been depreciating and getting markedly easier. But don't take my word for it. Take it from Luka Doncic, who on the surface of things is currently having a historical individual season.
Oh, he came out about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and said it's easier to score in the NBA than in EuroLeague because the defense is softer. Straight up said it, and we all knew it, but he straight up said it because he plays in both leagues.
This year, averaging 35 points per game, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds.
God damn,
He's currently
Luka.
leading the league in scoring per game and is third in assists right now. And quite frankly, none of this should come as any surprise, as by just the age of 20, in his second NBA season, Doncic was already dropping a nightly line of 29 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 9 assists. But Luka, in his final professional season in the EuroLeague prior to being drafted into the NBA, averaged just 16 points per game. Oh, sure. He just must have been getting that much more skilled since he was drafted in the NBA. Well, not exactly, as just 2 years ago, Doncic went on record in
Go, Scap. We do the same research, don't we, buddy?
discussing the ease of scoring in the NBA, saying, quote, "I would say that scoring is easier in the NBA because of the different rules and the amount of space. Scoring 30 points in a EuroLeague game, it's harder than in an NBA game,
There it is.
100%.
There it is,
And
everybody.
that brings us to the self-proclaimed king, the media creation, the guy for
And we used to be the kings of basketball in the U.S. I know some of you kids out there watching this might not know this, but wait till, 2010, really? There was no opposition for the United States when it came to basketball. We were the top of the line, the best, the toughest by far. EuroLeague was soft compared to us. They didn't know what real defense was, and that's how we crushed Europe was with our defense. And somehow we have become the softest country and the softest league when it comes to basketball. Um, I am blown away. I'm just old enough to have seen it all. So for me, it's crazy to watch what's currently going on and just how easy it is to score and how people just get out of the way. If you drive down the lane, like you saw that LeBron clip from earlier, people would just step out of the way and let you get a layup. You'd be benched for that shit back in the 90s.
for which this ignorant and hypocritical "we done with the 90s" trend began in the first place. You see, in the 90s, where average nightly scoring was roughly 15 points below what it is today, there was actually such a thing as defensive opposition, restriction to the basket, and lack of free movement around the court. And yet, despite the unprecedented ease of scoring resulting in the historical point explosion, where Nikola Jokic is setting all-time records for advanced analytic efficiency, LeBron James was still incapable of shooting any higher than 37% for his career on anything but layups and dunks.
Yep.
It's a complete crap.
It is. When I was talking about, Jordan working on his weaknesses and getting and overcoming them, LeBron is still a terrible 3-point shooter, but he shoots them, so it makes it worse. And also his clutch free throws, fourth quarter free throws, still terrible. So those were his two major weaknesses. And I'm not going to talk about how he travels all the time and all that obvious stuff. But as far as just skill set, he hasn't overcome those two things. And it's odd.
All-time turnovers king, boasting nearly 600 more than second place in that field. Also has missed nearly 500 more
He
shots
threw that
in
into
the
three
playoffs
players.
than anyone ever. But make no mistake, the underlying reason these scrub influencers have to crawl on TikTok to push their lies in a tapestry of feces, resulting in this most recent "we done with the 90s" push, isn't because of all of those playoff misses by the bagless one, just primarily all of those misses in games and situations that mattered most. So here's your reminder, scrubs. In the final 25 seconds of the fourth quarter or overtime in his playoff career, on potential game-tying or go-ahead shots, Michael Jordan was 10 of 19 overall. LeBron James, meanwhile, is just 11 of 30.
Diddly poo.
In series-clinching games, Jordan shot 4 of 7 in these situations, while James is just 0 and 3.
Diddly poo.
And when facing elimination, Jordan shot 3 of 3, while James is 0 for 2.
Diddly poo.
And finally, in the NBA Finals round specifically, Jordan was
Yeah, where's that talent?
4 for 8, while LeBron is currently 0 for 7.
It's a complete crap.
And again, let us not forget about the Brick King's tiny performance in the clutch time during the NBA Finals, where
Which
in
one?
the final 2 minutes of one-possession games, LeBron is shooting just 8 of 29 for his career, while
Goddamn.
his teams are only 10 and 11 in those games. So do not be fooled or lose sight for the real impetus behind this latest trending bit of nonsense. The true reason that the 90s and various other eras remain under fire by this current generation is because of their overwhelming, humiliating desire to overcompensate for their loser heroes' inadequacies that they themselves so closely identify with.
Another good video from Scap here. Um, what do you guys think about this? Let's talk about it in the comments. Um, how do you feel about this? We done with the '90s movement. Are you on the side of canceling the '90s, or are you like me and think this is absolutely pathetic to try and cancel an era because LeBron James is not better than Jordan outright? So you have to cheat. All right. All right. Yeah. Same as always, guys. The original link to the video is down below. Um, recently passed 10,000 subs, so I appreciate that. Um, I'd appreciate it if you left me a like and a comment down below so we can discuss this. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.